and I spent an hour and a half looking through 3 websites trying to find recipes. And the problem is that half of them don't have reviews. They're poor quality. There isn't a uniform format between the websites, and some info was missing from some of the recipes. And you don't want to spend an hour and a half, or you don't want to spend a month of time waiting for beer to become ready to drink and find out that it's terrible. So I formed a team of other home brewers, and we went out and asked some people at 3 stores and through 3 organizations what they thought and what their experiences were. They typically used multiple websites and spent an average of 45 minutes to an hour per recipe doing research. We also asked them how they determined whether or not a recipe was good, and they used reviews. The problem is most websites don't have very many responses because they're in a forum format. They don't have many responses and don't have many reviews. And so we decided we then went and asked them if they would use a website that aggregated recipes from multiple websites and maintained a rating and ranking system. And the overwhelming response was that would be a great website. So we got working on that, and then we went and asked them about a mobile application and what they would enjoy in that. And without prompting them on our ideas, the 3 biggest ideas that they came up with were recipes on the application, a brew log, and a brew timer, among other things that can be added on later. But so we began working on some of those things. So the big thing is, obviously, we have competition in the area, in mobile applications particularly, and the problem is that nobody does it well. Nobody has all of these features. It isn't easily executed, or isn't executed very well, and so we wanted to tackle this problem and integrate all of these solutions into one. So we came up with this website. At the bottom of it, you have the highest rated recipes and the recently posted recipes, and then you can click the button and search for beers. And it brings you to this. They're organized by category of beer and by color of beer. We'll look at the Pilsner right now. And so the highest rated is up at the top, and it goes down from there. So we'll pick the highest rated because everybody wants the best beer. And it gives you the recipe for that beer and what you have to do and what you have to buy to make it. Down at the bottom we have a picture, and then we allow for comments as well for people to give their own feedback on the taste profile. On the right-hand side, we can add a recipe. And we add a recipe using this form so that everything is uniform. Additional features that can be added for this include better functionality, recipe modification so that people can use their own, modify it to their own personal taste, and a batch size conversion calculator as well. We went on and made this app then. It has recipes on it, and so we can go through and select a recipe through this. It has all the, it could have all of the parameters for the recipe in it, and most importantly, we have a timer for it, so that way it can tell you when you have to take it off the boil or when you have to add hops, because a lot of recipes you add hops multiple times throughout the boiling process. And then we can have alarms set for each of those, and we have one set for at the end. Phone's on mute for presentation purposes. Yeah, go back now. So anyways, why would people use BrewLife? Currently there's BeerSmith, which is a program that all it does is calculate batch conversions and allow people to customize, and then people have to use multiple websites to find recipes. We offer a better user experience and an all-in-one package. Our revenue model is based on a premium account, which would allow users to use our mobile application, use a brew log, a brew timer, and a batch calculation. Based on the amount of homebrewers and amount of people who use smartphones, it's a potential market of $7.2 million, depending on the market share that we got. And there are additional revenue streams from partnering with the homebrew supply stores. So this app would help make homebrewers' experiences much more enjoyable.
see the different reviews of the different brews. How are you going to push that? How are you going to get people putting their reviews on there after they do a batch?
So by using our timer, we know when people brewed their beer, and each style of beer typically has a fermentation time and conditioning time in the bottle. And so we know when people are typically able to drink the beer after it's ready. And so we can go back and push a notification through that and recommend for them to come back to our website and post a review on how it tastes.
If I could misremember.
Didn't you say in your pitch on Friday night that this is like Stack Overflow for?
That was a different group.
Okay. But I thought that was a great idea. Helping people resolve problems with their beer. Did you consider?
That's one of the features that people recommended. Of course, I ran out of time, so I couldn't say everything. But people wanted kind of like a knowledge base, and the Stack Overflow for beer making would be a great idea for that. So a social function and a knowledge base could be combined, so people could come in and ask questions and say, hey, my local store doesn't have this type of grain. What would be a good alternative, for the same color, same flavor profile, and that type of thing. So that's another feature set that we could add.
Where is the recipe content going to come from? Is it curated by a team? Is it going to be user generated? How is that going to work?
Part of it's going to be user generated, but our initial plan is to pull it from other websites. Some of them have it in a uniform format across all of the websites, so for those we could just make a script and pull a couple hundred websites off for a good start. From there, to get more websites and to get more people to our site, because I know that question's coming up, we've planned to partner with local homebrew supply stores. Like Northern Brewer is a big chain. Brew and Grow is another one with 8 stores between here and Chicago. So we can partner with them and do the inventory link from the recipe ingredients to their store. And then that way they want to promote us, we want to promote them, and it drives traffic to their store and users to our site.
What does your competitors look like?
Our competitors, so a few of I had a screenshot in there of one of the websites that they have, and it's a forum view, so people can post the recipe in any format they want. And that's one of the problems, is that when people are posting a recipe, maybe they just got done brewing and having a few beers, so they leave a few things out, and then I go in and I'm trying to figure out, I'm a novice brewer, let's say, and I'm trying to figure out how to do this, and they're missing information and I just can't piece it together. So those are problems with their site, with forum view and not having a standardized form to submit the recipe.
So which one do you use right now?
Right now I use the one that I used as an example is the
Hopville?
worst one. No, I've looked at Hopville. They didn't have that many recipes, I didn't think, when I was looking through it. I use Homebrew Talk.
Okay, and then have you looked at beerrecipes.org at all? Because they've got like 1,300, and they look pretty good actually.
Yeah, I've looked through that a little bit, not as much as Homebrew Talk. You get a home base, and that's what I stuck to.
Where did you get the figure of 1 million homebrewers, and what percentage of those do you think are serious enough that they want to invest in your app?
So that is a number from the American Homebrew Association, an estimated 1 million users homebrew at least once a year. So obviously I mentioned that as a total market size. I think that I'm just going to pull numbers out here. I'd say 25% of brewers probably brew on a moderately regular basis and could probably make use of our app for only $1 a month too. Most people are middle-aged, have a fairly secure job, and those are characteristics of the typical home brewer. So I don't think $1 a month would really break the bank for them.
Any other questions? Great, thank you.